How's it going, everyone? This is Rene with Neptune Cigars. We're back at the PCA 2024 in Las Vegas, and I'm standing here with Manolo Santiago from Casa 1910. Manolo, thank you so much for taking the time for us today.
No, thank you for having us. You're welcome.
How's the show going so far?
All good. It's our second day of trade show, the first day of the show floor, so very great. We have the mariachis, the Reserva de la Familia bar, so new stuff for Casa 1910, so very great.
It's a party.
Yeah, Mexican party.
Yes. So I want you actually to elaborate on that, because a lot of people might still be unfamiliar with the brand, right? And there's a lot of Mexican heritage here, you know. Can you elaborate on what your brand is all about?
Well, first of all, we are Casa 1910. Casa is house in Spanish, so we got the Casa because in Mexico we are very famous to be very hosted and warm people and our houses. And 1910 is the year of the Mexican Revolution began. So, or the history behind Casa 1910, it's a different tributes between the lines for different elements for the Mexican Revolution. For example, with the Revolutionary Edition, 100% Mexican puros, it's a proper tribute for the different battles for the Mexican Revolution. The Cabre Edition is made with Nicaraguan tobacco and Mexican tobacco inside, and it was a special tribute for the horses from Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata. Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata, it was the principal revolutionary warriors in Mexico. And the Soldadera edition, made with a blend with Dominican Republic tobaccos and Mexican tobaccos, it's a proper homage for the female warriors, that Mexican Revolution. It's not mild cigars, it's a strong cigar, but with different tributes. And a new release is the Mex Cigars line. It's another brand from Casa 1910, by like entry level. It's not a proper tribute, it's more like an inspiration in the flavors and the aroma from Mexico, the traditional cuisine. Since the chile, spices, and chocolate, for example, you can find that kind of flavors and aroma in every cigar from us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's because we try to expose Mexico, the good things on Mexico, for the cigar aficionados, from the history, the storytelling behind each cigar, and the flavors and the aroma, all inspired in Mexico.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's carry on with the Mexican theme, right? So Mexican San Andres it's a very popular type of leaf, type of wrapper. It's one of my personal favorites. What do you think makes it so special to smoke? You know, what are the characteristics that make the cigar come alive and that make it so delicious at the end of the day?
Well, like what you say, the Negro San Andres wrapper, it's very famous, okay? But in my blends, for example, I don't usually use the Mexican San Andres wrapper. I use the Mexican San Andres in filler, because the Negro San Andres gives a lot of aroma, a lot of flavor, not too much strength, but it's a lot of flavor and aroma. So if you make a good fermentation from different soils, from different weathers, for example, we grow in tobacco in the rainy season and the dry season. So when I make the blend, I play with different strengths, different aromas. So you can find a complexity in the tobacco, in the cigar. For example, the Negro San Andres wrapper, you can find touch notes of toasted woods, leather, but if you put the Negro San Andres on the filler, you can find peppers, you can find more toasted notes, coffee grains, cacao. So it's very interesting flavor and more balanced and more rounded tobacco. And our signature is not properly the tobacco, the Negro San Andres tobacco. It is the flavor from Mexico. I pretend, for example, in the blend for Nicaragua and the blend for the Dominican Republic, I try to release, to make a little highlight for the flavor and the aroma. It's not just a touch for Mexico, it's the proper principal flavor, and the rest of the tobacco rounded that flavor. It's because it's our signature, the flavor from the San Andres soil.
Yeah. And as a master blender, like, how would you describe Mexican tobacco in the growing process? Is it an easy plant to work with? Is it a little bit more finicky, fragile? I would imagine it's not. It's probably a very thick leaf.
Well, depends, because for example, we use Mexican Sumatra wrapper. is very, very, very delicate. The Negro San Andres is very hard.
Yeah.
It's very strong. It's like you can put the seed behind the sun, and you don't have troubles with the plant. The curing process and the fermentation process is another story. But the proper harvesting, it's very easy because it's a very strong plant, and the leaves is very gross. So you can work with that kind of leaf, and you can make different experiments. With the Habano Mexico or the Sumatra Mexico, it's another story because it's more tight, it's more light, and it's more delicate, but it's different.
Yeah.
It's different, and depends the kind of soil and the terroir. For example, we're growing tobacco in the valley and the mountains too, so it's a little bit different.
Right.
The weather, the humidity, so it's
A lot of factors
a
involved.
game, yeah.
And so we started taking some customer questions, right, this year. And one of the questions was during the fermentation process, right, or even just the cigar rolling and growing process, how do you make sure that the construction is always impeccable? How do you make sure that the cigar crop gives you the final product, strong, sturdy, reliable, consistent? What's the part in the process that does that?
Well, first of all, you need good soil. You need good people in the farms. And the same thing, one person is involved to check the harvesting team, the curing process team, the fermentation team, because it's different team, and of course the master roller, because the master roller keeps the blend all the same flavors, all the same aroma, and good construction. For example, the production of Revolutionary Edition and the Mexican stuff, it's made with just 5 cigar rollers and the master roller, so it's 6. But we have another 6 in the school, making cigars every day to improve the technique to rolling. So you need a point of checking points, like the draw, like the beautiful of the wrapper, the finishes of the cigar.
Yeah.
You need to check every detail. But for my side, at the end of the day, the flavor and the aroma is the important thing. Maybe you can have a cigar don't burn correctly, or you can see the proper combustion cone, but its flavor good and the aroma is good. You have everything.
It's a successful cigar.
You have everything, because you can see a lot of mistakes in the cigars because it's handmade.
Right.
And the tobacco, it's under the weather. So if you try to keep the control for everything in the tobacco industry,
You're just going to get frustrated.
yeah. Because it's natural. It's handmade. You can have cigars very strange, but the flavor and the aroma, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah. It goes to show how much detail goes into the cigar making process, right?
It's
you
a
can't
lot.
cut corners. It's got to be just very, very precise. That's what allows us to have the final product.
Yeah.
And what do we have coming up with Casa 1910 this year? What are the new releases?
Well, we have 3 different lines: the Revolutionary, the Cabaret Edition, and the Soldadera Edition. But now we release a couple of new cigars for Revolutionary Edition. You know the Cuchillo Parado, it's a Robusto, the Tierra Blanca, the Toro Extra 6x54. But now we release another format for Tierra Blanca, it's a Robusto, the same blend, but 5x50. And a new cigar, it's in Robusto and Toro Extra, El Ébano.
Right.
El Ébano, it's made with Negro San Andres filler and binder, and an amazing Negro San Andres Colorado for wrapper.
Oh, that sounds good.
Full strength, a lot of aroma,
nice.
a lot of flavor. It's amazing cigar. It's amazing cigar. Good, very good aged tobacco before we rolled. And another release is a new brand behind the name of Casa 1910. We call Mexigars. Mexico and cigars we put together, and we made Mexigars. Mexigars, my proper inspiration with that cigars, it's a Mexican traditions from the cuisine for the streets. For example, in Mexico City, for example, when you walk in the street with a taco place, you can smell the taco. So
And you just want to walk in.
yeah, It's the same if the traditional home, Mexican home, you can smell that kind of flavors and aromas. For example, the mole, it's a mix, it's a past with a mix of spices and nuts. So I pretend to print that kind of flavors and aroma and experience in that cigars. It's two different toros, MX1 and MX2, 100% made in Mexico with Mexican tobaccos, with a very beautiful Habano seed, but grown in Mexico, and a Negro San Andres. So it's different blends. Negro San Andres Colorado in the wrapper, Habano, and Negro San Andres in the filler. And the other one, it's Habano Mexico in the wrapper, and the filler and binder, Negro San Andres and Habano too. Full flavor, full aroma, full strength, and different expressions in the both. The MSR, the price point, it's very great. It's under the $10, so it's very great. Well, depend of the state, of course, sure. I need to say, but it's very great option to entrance to the world of Casa 1910 because it's a good flavor, good aroma, 100% Mexico, so you can know what happened in the tobacco in the filler. Because Negro San Andres is famous for the Negro San Andres wrapper, but we have an amazing filler too.
Oh, I can't wait to try it. When does that come out?
The Elevano and the Cigars for June, it arrives to the stores.
Okay, June.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard it there. June, you better look out for that. Casa 1910. And Manolo, one last question for you. So this one's very open-ended. I want to hear your opinion. As you know, today, or this year, is going to be the last PCA at Las Vegas. Next year, we're going to be moving over to New Orleans. So with change on your mind, if you could change anything in the cigar industry, what would you change?
Well, for my side, wherever you are with a cigar in your hand, it's a correct place. If the PCA it's in Las Vegas or in New Orleans, I'm very happy to be there because the matters, it's the people, the cigar aficionados, the cigar industry, the people who loves the tobacco, no matter what origin that are, DR, Honduras, Ecuador, Mexico. It's the love and passion for the tobacco industry. So New Orleans, I'm very excited for that. I really I miss Las Vegas because I love Vegas, but it's perfect time to experiment another place. So it's very great.
Yeah.
Every change is good. If you remember, the last year I have a huge mustache on the beard.
Yep.
So the change is not bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's very great for my side.
The setting doesn't matter, just as long as the cigars are around.
Yeah.
All right, Manolo, thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for all the info. And of course, you guys, please look out for Casa 1910. If you love Mexican tobacco like I do, you got to try this because this is some of the best out there, I promise. So until next time, be sure to look out for Casa 1910 on yourselves. All the new stuff coming this June. We'll catch you next year.